It's time for EdTech Mondays, brought to you by MasterCard Foundation and CC Hub.
Getting a young Nigerian online is only step one. The real test is what happens next. Does that connectivity lead anywhere? Across Nigeria, STEM and digital skills programs are increasingly being judged not by enrollment numbers, but by whether learners actually walk away with real skills and income-generating opportunities. Welcome back to EdTech Mondays Nigeria, a platform that facilitates critical conversations on the role of technology in learning and teaching to shape the future of education in Nigeria. My name is Damilola Busari, and I'll be moderating the conversation. In episode 1, we asked what digital access really means. In episode 2, we explored who still gets left behind even as access expands. Today, we focus on payoff. How does access convert into real learning, mentorship, and entrepreneurship? How do young people turn that access into skills, jobs, and sustainable livelihoods? Joining me is the co-founder and CEO of Farmatrix Agro-Allied and Technology Company. She is an alumnus of the MasterCard Foundation Fund for Alumni Startups in Transition FAST program. FAST supports and empowers the next generation of entrepreneurs by providing enterprise support and connecting participants to business development training and a supportive network of like-minded entrepreneurs and mentors. Please welcome with me Nyifamu Manzo.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Also joining me again is the co-founder and CTO of Bluesands STEM Labs, Kingsley Okechukwu. Hello, Kingsley, and welcome again.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be on the call today.
Thank you so much. All right, let's jump right in. Nyifamu, what was your journey like from access to a program to actually turning that into an opportunity?
Thank you so much for that question. Again, my name is Nyifamu and I run Farmatrix Agro. And I would say the access to the FAST program, for one, really helped us to build some level of foundations for Farmatrix and also support the work that we do for smallholder farmers. We're also able to put kind of structure which gave us flying weeks, I would say, and help us to build those structures for access to finance, access to other opportunities that was able to help us build our growth.
Thank you very much. So access was the major thing that you benefited from the program?
Absolutely.
All right. Now for you, Kingsley, we understand that Bluesands is trying to solve certain problems when it comes to access as well to STEM learning. Would you mind itemizing the specific problems that Bluesands is trying to solve?
All right. Thank you very much for your question. So, number one, we are trying to solve the problem of the inequality in STEM education, access to quality STEM education, access to science laboratory. I come from a science background. I went to secondary school. I tell you how many times I went to the laboratory to do chemistry, biology, and physics practicals. I think in all my time in secondary school, we never went to the lab up to 12 times. I was in SS1 one year, SS2 and SS3. And in SS1, I can count that we never went to the lab 12 times in the whole year. Neither did we have that in SS2 or SS3. It was mostly when we were about writing YA exam. That's when we went to the lab to now get ourselves familiar. The rest of the things we're just theorizing and reading the stuffs from the textbook. So no real experience. So looking at my story, how am I trying to solve that for the next kid after me? We want them in this age of digital technology, in this age where every young child out there has access to their parents' mobile phone, in this age where many young kids in K-12 have access to tablets, smart tablets. We want to bring the science laboratory closer to home than ever before.
Thank you so much, Kingsley, for your response. One thing is clear, learning must move from being theoretical to becoming practical. That's where the true learning happens for children and they are then able to apply it. I'd like to ask, what role does project-based learning as well as competition, what role do these play in preparing young people for future-ready STEM education and careers? There's an evolving landscape. Does project-based learning as well as competitions, are they helpful in preparing young people for future-ready STEM careers as well as education?
Yeah, so project-based learning is as important as every practical form of learning. So, take for example, in every chemistry, physics, and biology practical textbook, at the end of the day, there are practice exercises, there are projects. Most of the teaching, particularly come from the teachers, is not programmed in a project-based learning methodology. I'll say so. However, with the way we design our solution, we are making it possible for kids to practicalize what they are learning from us using digital technology. So, from our own point of view, project-based learning would help kids mentally prepare for the real world because life itself is a project. Your journey in the university is a project. Your life after university is a project. Your life with your employer, being in a hospital, being in an engineering field, everything is a project. So, applying a project-based learning methodology at this at the early foundational level or at the K-12 level is as important and cannot be overemphasized because this will probably prepare the kids for the future. It will help them have the necessary skills, such as uh, help them have the necessary skills that will prepare them for the future. A few of the skills I will mention, one is critical thinking, teamwork, collaboration, working with stakeholders in mind. Those are some of the skills that you not grow up with and we were not taught. So in a project-based learning, you understand one thing, you get feedback. The feedback you get is not as a result of the fact that you are a failure or you're doing bad, but it's as a result of the fact that we want you to improve. And those are some of the skills you get when you apply project-based learning to kids in K-12, is that they see feedback from a positive perspective. And that's something our current learning system does not really offer. Rather, when kids see feedback as criticism, that they are not good enough.
A marker of
So
failure.
in a project learning environment, you will see criticism as feedback to improve, as you're taught to see criticism as feedback that you're doing well, but you're not just doing it the right way. So in the STEM environment, using our solution, this is something that we are equipping the kids with. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot for sharing, Kingsley. It definitely is good to see that these things can translate from what is theoretical to what happens in the real world. Speaking about the real world, we know that the FAST program helps to support entrepreneurship, business development, amongst other things. Nyifamu, how would you say that the FAST program and being a participant in that program has translated in your entrepreneurial journey so far?
Thank you very much for the question. I would say that it has helped in different ways. For one is we had sessions where we were trained, and I could still remember, I can't remember the name of the lady. I think it's Timidakolo's wife who took us on a session, I think on communication, which was really good. And I could remember when I had to share with my team on, oh, we need to do this way, so that it could help us in for better communicating on the work that we do at Farmatrix, to translate it into better results and into getting our key stakeholders understanding the kind of work that we do. So that's like one of the key success that I would say that we got from the FAST program. And I know I've also like benefited from a couple of other programs, but I could also see that because we were a small group of people, we're able to have more focus on or elaborate on your work. What is the progress like? What is the reporting like? what have you done so far? Where were you before you started? Where are you now? Where do you plan on going in the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years? What's your growth plan? What does that look like on paper? And also, even if you have it in your head, what does that look like in reality? I would say that was also very important for us through the program, because part of the successes that we have now were things that was projected through the reporting that was asked and the feedbacks that we're getting from the team about CCO, and also I think through Massacre Foundation, but mostly CCO because we're the implementing partners at the time. So that was one of the part of the key successes from our end.
Thanks a
Thank
lot
you.
for sharing, Nyifamu. It definitely is important to be able to look back when the rubber hits the road and say, yes, this training has helped me and I'm now able to apply it to my current circumstances. What advice would you give other young Nigerians or founders at the ideation stage of their entrepreneurial journey, Nyifamu?
I would say building is very hard. So welcome to the harder part of building, really. But the hardest part is to even think of it and start. So implementing is also a good phase while you are thinking of all these things. Building is very hard, but having the right support and ecosystem is very, very important in building a sustainable business, especially in Nigeria. Everywhere in the world, really, but in Nigeria, we have a very interesting dynamic when it comes to building businesses. So you need the right support, the right community, the right ecosystem to be. So always find your people, find your community. While you still have the idea and you are trying to build your first MVP, trying to build your first product, or going into the market, find the right community and build with them.
Thanks a lot for sharing, Nyifamu. Definitely, community is key to ensure that there is lasting success. Our guests today have highlighted an important truth. Access without a pathway to opportunity is incomplete. Young people need not just connectivity, but a community, and that includes mentorship, practical exposure, real partnerships that help turn learning into livelihoods. I have a poser for you. Has digital learning helped you gain a job, start a business, or build a new skill? Would love to hear your story. Next week, we conclude this series by asking the biggest question of all. How does Nigeria scale digital inclusion, not for thousands, but for millions of young people? Share your thoughts with us on social media or via SMS or WhatsApp on 0703 165 0809 or call 0706 402 0742. Remember, you can continue this discussion on our WhatsApp and Telegram channels, EdTech Mondays Nigeria. And of course, past episodes are also available on Spotify, EdTech Mondays Nigeria, as well as on YouTube, CC Hub Africa. Your feedback will help shape the conversations we host and, of course, the policy dialogues that we advocate for. A big thank you to our guests on today's episode, Nyifamu Manzo and Kingsley Okechukwu. I am Damilola Busari. Bye for now.
Tech Mondays, brought to you by MasterCard Foundation and CC Hub.